Hello friends, welcome to this video. So in this video we will actually build out a Next.js Google OAuth2 login and logout system and in the browser. So let me show you the demo of this application. So whenever you open the application, it will look something like this. You will have a login button, and here whenever as you click the login button, it will actually show you your account screen of OAuth2. As I click it, you will see the sign in with Google button. It will redirect you to this URL, and if you click it, you will be redirected to the screen where you can actually select your actual Google account that you want to log in here. And as I select the account here, we need to grant the permissions to this project, and simply you need to click on continue. So as you click on continue, it will redirect you to the profile page where you will actually see the details of your account here, which is name, email address, and also we have the logout button as well. So you can just see here. So if I just close this window and again if I open the same URL again, so it will automatically detect that I'm already logged in here, and it will redirect me to the profile page, so we don't need to log in again and again. So it basically store this information in the session of the browser, so that's why it is automatically detecting that you already logged in. So there is this logout button here. If you click this button, you will be redirected to the home page right here. So now you are successfully logged out. So if I close the window, again open the same window once again, it will now detect that you are logged out, and now it will show you the login window right here. This is a very simple project, and we are actually making use of a library in Next.js which is specifically made for this process, which is called as NextAuth.js. This is their official website here, NextAuth.js.org. You can read more about the documentation on their website. So we will look at a very simple Google login example in this video. I will show you step by step how to implement this inside your Next.js. So we will be using the latest version of recording this video. At this time Next.js 14 is released, so we will be looking at the latest version here, and we will be creating this project step by step. So you can take any Google account, for example. Just you need to go to the home page. Again, I am taking a different account here. You can see that again you just need to do it for the very first time if you are logging here by selecting your account, granting permission. So this you need to do it for the very first time, and then it will actually show you the name, email address, and a logout button as well. So this is the actual application, and if you are interested, the link is given in the description for the full source code. If you are interested to actually purchase the full source code, you can go to my website procodestore.com, where I will actually given all the source code which I will be using in this video with full documentation and support. So the link is given, you can go to it, and after you purchase it, you will actually get a zip file from Google Drive automatically after you make the payment. So the link is given in the description. So now let's get started by building this application. So now I will be seeing you in the next section. So now to get started, guys, we are there inside my project directory. So I will simply open command line here, and we will simply create a brand new Next.js project by invoking this command, which is npx create next app. So this is, you can see that this is actually, if I zoom in, npx create next app @latest. So we are actually using the latest version here, mentioning because we are actually using Next.js 14, which is the latest version, followed by the name of the project. You can give any name. Let me give here NextAuth Google login project. So as you basically execute this command, it will ask you some questions right here. Would you like to use TypeScript? Because in this specific project we are using TypeScript, so I will simply set to yes. You can even change it to no as well, but in this tutorial we will be using TypeScript, which is a superscript of JavaScript with additional features. So simply enter. Would you like to use ESLint? So ESLint is specifically used in testing, so we don't need to use it, so no. We will be using Tailwind CSS for styling purposes, so simply yes. And we will not be using the source directory at the latest version. We don't need the source directory. App router, we will be using it, so yes, no. So we are sticking to the default options right here, and now it will actually install the dependencies. So once it's installed, it will actually finish the process. So after installing it, we just need to open this project in the VS Code. So now it is completed right here. We need to navigate to the project directory right here. So we can simply say cd NextAuth Google login project and open this project in this VS Code. So this actually will be the directory structure of a Next.js 14 app here. This will be slightly different if you are using an older version of Next.js, which is 12 or 13, because in Next.js 14 a lot more additional features is added because of the app router. And this is actually the page.txx file, which is stands for TypeScript, and JSX is also mixed here. Now this is actually the home page that you will see if I run the application. And if I just want to run this, I will simply npm run dev. So this will actually start the development server on localhost 3000. So by default in Next.js 14, this will be all your routes are named as page followed by ts. So this is actually the page that you will see whenever you open the application. If I refresh it, so it will automatically reload whenever you make changes. So it is just compiling it, so just wait. For the very first time it takes some time, 5 to 10 seconds. So it is compiled here, you will see that. So this is actually that you see right here. We can edit this, we can delete everything from here. You can just change here, write hello world, so it will auto reload. It will, you can see that hello world is there. So this is actually the application. We don't no longer need this image. So what we will need to do right here, so in the next section guys, we will start coding this project step by step. So now in this section guys, we will actually start building this project. So the very first file that you need to create right here in the root directory is .env file. So just write in the root directory, create this .env file, and here in this file we will be storing some information, some variables. So these variables we will be getting through Google Cloud Console, such as your Google Client ID, Google Client Secret. So whenever you are authenticating with Google, you need to have these two things. And we also need NextAuth secret. So this can be anything. You can have your secret key, so you can just provide any value right here. This is just for the secret key for if you're using NextAuth library, and also the base URL of your application NextAuth URL. So my base URL will be http localhost 3000. So if you are developing it for production, here you need to put your website full URL, but we are building it on localhost, so that's why this is our home page URL. And now these two values we need to get using the Cloud Console right here. And here you should have this, you can simply type on Google, which is Google Cloud Console. The very first link which comes right here, simply click it and go to console, and you should have sign up for this and create in a project. I already have one, so I will simply navigate to the menu section. So where I will see this option right here is APIs and services, go to credentials, and here you just need to create a client ID. Click on this button, create credentials, go to OAuth client ID, and the application type will be web application. So simply select from the drop down web application, and here you need to fill out these details, which is authorized JavaScript origins, which is actually the home page of the URL, http localhost 3000. So whatever is the URL of your, so we are running it on localhost 3000, so I will simply put right here. And after that, this will be the authorized redirect URI. So NextAuth, if you search right here, it has redirect URI for Google callback. If you just type this, it will show you that specifically if you are doing Google authentication, you need to put this. This is a route here. You need to put /API/auth/callback/Google. So it has various providers. For specific Google provider, we need to put this redirect URI. So this is constant based upon your project. This will not change. So this will change the locals, this one. So this I will simply copy this, and I will simply authorize redirect URI. The base URL will remain constant, which is http localhost 3000. After that, this will change /API /auth /callback /Google. So this is provided by NextAuth. So this will not change. So redirect URI simply means that whenever you basically allow the permissions, so what URL Google will redirect you to. So this is authorized redirect URI. After that, click on create, and it will actually give you this information which will be different for you. So don't copy my information. So just copy the client ID, paste it here, and you will also get your client secret as well. So just paste it here and in this .env file. So simply close this file. This is done right here. After this, you need to go to page. This is our home route, and right here we will delete everything from here, and we will actually be having this. We will just be creating a base component right here in a route here. So every route will have a name folder right here. So login. Inside this, we will be defining page.tsx. So here we will be importing this we will just be importing it. For the time being, I can just write a heading right here, hello world, just here. This will also work if you go to localhost 3000. You will see that hello world is there. So after this, what we need to do, we need to create another file right here in this app folder. So just create a file called as session provider. So just write session provider .tsx. So in this specific file, we need to write this code that I am writing right here. It will be a client component in Next.js. It will run on the client, and from this we need to import the base React library, and also we need to import the session provider, which is there from this package, which is NextAuth package, if you see that and from React. So NextAuth library contains this. We can just rename up the file, not session provider, just rename to provider. So now if you see, there is a session provider available from this package that we installed right here, which is I think we haven't installed this package, that's why it is creating this problem. So just go to command line and just install this package, which is next-auth, npmi next-auth. Simply install this package. So once this package is installed, you will actually get NextAuth/React. So this session provider, you can see it's a function which is there inside this package. So what we need to do right here, we need to create a function providers. We need to wrap our application to this session provider. So this will actually take care whenever you log in, it will actually remember you that you either is logged in or not. So this is really useful for that purpose. That's why we are doing this. So if you don't include this, then your information will not be remembered by the application. So whether you are logged in or not. So here we need to wrap everything of our application to this session provider. Inside this, the children, we will be having this. So children here is the actual application, and here we are wrapping everything inside the session provider tag. Lastly, we just need to export this file so that we can include this in other files. So export default. This is a very basic syntax. This is actually the file right here. We are requiring the session provider function which is available in NextAuth package, and then we are wrapping everything inside session provider of the application. So it's a client side component. Now we just need to go to the layout file that you see right here. This is the layout file. Layout file typically actually have your metadata of your application, such as the title, description. So you can just rename this to JS from TypeScript. So just layout.js, just rename this to. And after this, this is in TypeScript. So what we need to do right here, we need to import like this. So you will see that. So we have changed this code right here. You will find out the full directory structure, full code will be available in the description. You can purchase it. So we have just required the providers file that we written right here in the previous. So this we are requiring it by using the import statement, import providers from the providers file, and then we are simply wrapping everything. You will see that this providers, inside it we contain the body, which is actually our application. So this is actually the body tag which is wrapped here in the providers tags. So now we are good to go. So the configuration is complete. So now in the next section we will look at how to write the login function. So now guys, in this section right here we will actually be building out the login page that we created in the last section. This is actually login folder, and inside this we have defined the page.tsx file, and right here we will actually be using the use client directive to actually tell it's a client side component, and will be a functional component. I will change the name to login, so it will simply say to the user login page. Now I need to include this in the base component, the index page. So what I will do instead of this hello world, we will simply include the login like this. So if I refresh the application, you will now see login page. So it is showing right here. So now what we need to do, we just need to also go to the public right here in the global. If you see, everything is good right here, no error is there. So what we need to do here in this, we need to write some JSX. So in the login, I think in this, in this file we just need to declare some variable. First one will be for the data, which will be of the type session, the data coming. We'll use this use session directive, which will be coming from the NextAuth package, and it's a, you may say it's a hook. If you have studied React, you may just know what are hooks: use state, use effect. So one such hook is use session, which is actually provided by NextAuth, which will actually show you the session information. If the user is already logged in, it will actually contain their profile picture, email and name. So we have declared this variable for this. Now inside this JSX, we will be having a div. We will be giving tailwind classes right here to it: flex, item, center, justify, center. So these are all tailwind classes. If you don't know about tailwind, it's a framework where we have pre-made classes available for us, so that we don't need to write custom CSS. So BG gray stands for background, changing the background color. This is actually the shade which is there. So inside this we will actually be showing the login button. So we will be having BG white, background white. We will be giving a shadow. On medium devices it will be rounded, on large devices P padding 6, width will be full, W dash full, max width on medium devices, and the text will be on center. So these are all tailwind classes right here, if you see. So here we will simply have a button for now. So this button will simply show login right here. So if you just refresh right here, so if you see right here guys, we have this login button right here, right in the center position, and the background is changed right here to gray color, and the button background is also changed to white. So I can need to attach some classes to the button as well. So button bg blue 500. When we hover onto this button, the color will change to 700. Text will be of white, font bold, py 2 px. So py is padding in the y direction, px padding in the x direction, and it will be rounded full. So if you just refresh right here, the login button is ready. You will see that. So this is actually the login button. After you do this, we need to attach a on-click listener to it. So whenever we click this button, what should happen? So on click. So here we will be defining a function which will be sign in. So this function will be coming from the NextAuth library. So all these methods are pre-made available for us using NextAuth. So we just need to import these methods, which is sign in for signing in using Google, and signing out as well. This also is available. Sign s is small, sign out, and use session that we already imported. So this all will be coming from one library, which is NextAuth/React. So you will see that all these methods are pre-made available. So we will be calling this method sign in like this. So you can see that we are simply calling this method. So this will be button. So if you just click this now, you will be actually be having this 404. This page cannot be found because we haven't defined our server-side routes in Next.js. You will see /API/auth/error. This error you will take this. This is quite normal because we haven't defined the server-side code as well in Next.js. So server-side code is located in the API directory. So in the app directory, you need to create our API directory /API. This is actually the convention in Next.js 14. Quite a number of things have been changed. So these things, the server code is located in the /API if you want to make server-side routes. And then we will create the auth folder right here. This is specifically done for NextAuth. So in the auth folder, we need to create another folder which will be a route in the square brackets .NextAuth. So this needs to be the same right here. Whatever I'm doing right here, you need to do the same. So NextAuth, this is actually with the folder name. And now inside this folder, we need to create a file which will be route.ts. So we are coding in TypeScript, so that's why the name of the file should be route. This is actually, again, if I tell you, this is actually the naming convention: API, then auth, then the square brackets, .. 3 dots followed by NextAuth, and then inside this we have the route.txt file. So if you follow the convention, you will not get any error. So after you do this, we now need to define this server code. This is a server component, so that's why we will not write here use client, because it's a server component. So we will simply first of all import the NextAuth from NextAuth simply, and then we need to import the Google provider. So there are various providers available in NextAuth. One such provider is Google Auth, Google provider. So /providers/ you will see you can do it for various providers are there, various social media networks. So one such is Google, you will see that. So now we just need to write the handler function which will actually handle this request coming from the client side. So this is the handler function that we are defining right here, NextAuth, and here we need to provide the providers array right here. So this array, for now we are actually handling it for only Google right here. So we'll say Google provider, and right here we just need to provide an object which will actually contain these two details, which is client ID and client secret. So both these information we have stored in the environment file process dot. Now to fetch this information which we have defined in the .env file, we can simply use the syntax which is process.env dot followed by the Google underscore client ID. And similarly for this process.env dot Google slash client secret. And also if the information is not available, in that case we'll just try this ternary operator. So now we have defined this handler function. We now need to export this so that we can use them. So just write export. This line is really important. If you don't write this, then this function will not work. Export handler as get and also as post as well. So this function which we have defined right here, it will handle all the get request and the post request coming from the client side. So in this specific function, we just provided the client ID and the client secret that we configured in the earlier step, that we got information from Google Cloud Console. This will be different for you. So these two things also need to be set, which is the secret key next./secret and next./URL, which is actually the home page of the application. So after you do this, we define this information in the route file. So now if you make the changes right here, again if you open localhost 3000, so if you click the login button right here, you will be redirected to this callback URL. If you see /API/sign-in, this is actual callback URL. And now if you see, we will see the sign in with Google button. So if you click it, you will be redirected to your screen where you can actually select your Google account. Let me restart the application right here. So once you start your application right here, just need to write npm run dev. So it will actually start your development server. So if you go to localhost 3000, so just wait for it is compiling this information. So let me restart the application here. You'll see it is starting right here. So basically guys, whenever you grant the permission, So there will be this login button that we are showing right here in this login route here. So whenever you grant the permission, there will be this session variable that we declared early on. This will come into the picture. So right here we will just write conditional logic inside our JSX. We will simply, inside curly bracket, we will simply say if the session is not on, then we will have a ternary operator right here, and then we will basically shift all this code that we have written for the login button that you see. Simply shift this code. So conditionally we are rendering the JSX. So if the session is on right here, then only we need to show the login button. If the session is not available, we have put a not symbol right here. So if the session is not available, then the user is not logged in. So in that case, we will put a ternary operator right here. So if the session is available, in that case, we actually need to show the information to the user, which will be a simple sign out button, or we can say logout button. And we can simply on click, we can actually call this function, built-in function, which is sign out of NextAuth. And these are all the Tailwind classes. We can just give it to this button, and you can see that. So we can see that we are conditionally rendering out. If the session is not on, then we are showing the login button. If the session is on, we are showing the logout button. And also, if the session is available, then also this condition will be true. So in that case, we will be showing the user information such as the profile picture, email address, all that stuff. So these are all Tailwind classes. So right here, it will be coming from the session. So curly bracket session question mark dot user question mark dash name. So this will be the name of the person, and then similarly, in order to show the email address, we will have dot email. So all this information will be coming, and similarly we will show the image to the user. So image here will be image like this. So we will give it a class name which is rounded full W24, height is also 24, MX auto to be center on the screen. So that's all guys for this tutorial. So you can see if the session is available, then we are having this information, the name of the person, email, and the image. So this will be shown. So thank you very much. The full source code link is given in the description. You can directly purchase it from my website procodestore.com with full documentation and support. And thank you very much for watching this video. Please hit that like button, subscribe the channel as well.